Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board for this Wednesday, March 7th, 2018. Could we have roll call, please?
Bow.
Here.
Garrity.
Here.
McFarland. Nordentoff. Path.
Here.
Pasak. And Sula.
Present. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our meeting that was held on February 7th. I do have one minor, it's either a typo or a grammatical change. On the very bottom of the first page where it says Mr. Sula stated, it probably should be stated.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or changes?
I wasn't here for that. Do I just abstain?
No, you can still vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
But we need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve is written with the minor edit by the chairman added in.
Motion by Mr. Garrity, second.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Paff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing for a special use permit for a car wash proposed to be located at 431 North Route 21. Staff report?
Yep. Mr. Sophocles Rhodus is seeking a special use permit to allow the establishment and operation of a luxury auto spa at 431 North Route 21 in Riverside Plaza. The subject property consists of approximately 3 acres and is zoned C2 Community Commercial District. As with all special use permit petitions, the Planning and Zoning Board will make a recommendation that will be forwarded to the Village Board for their determination. The petitioner and his representatives are in attendance to present their plans and answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. As this item is a public hearing, we need anyone from the petitioner or members of the general public that intend to give testimony, ask questions, make comments to please stand and be sworn in by the village attorney.
If you could just raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to a representative of the petitioner. Sir, you didn't swear in.
Pardon?
You didn't swear in.
I'm the attorney, I'm not going to testify.
Oh,
Counsel, what do you think?
I think you're fine.
you attorneys always stick together, I tell you. Okay. All right, I do need you to use the microphone.
We'll swear you in as soon as you start making representations on behalf of your client.
You're the first one that ever took that position. So.
Well, that's customarily how we do it.
Okay.
In most cases, they don't want me testifying. They want your
Okay.
I'm happy to do it either way.
As long as Mr. W is happy, I'm happy.
As the young lady mentioned, we're here for a special use for a car wash. And with that, I'll put my witnesses on to explain the operations. Sophocles first. Sophocles, would you state your name and address?
We need to have him use the microphone,
All right,
otherwise because we do record all the meetings, and otherwise it won't get picked up.
Sophocles Rhodus, 6383 Lockwood Lane, Gurnee, Illinois.
And Sophocles, is it correct you plan to build and operate a car wash on the subject site?
Yes, I do.
And
You
you
know,
advise-
actually, just to remind everyone, we do have a packet, so you can really just give us a narrative.
All right. Well,
So, I mean, the different witnesses, if there's anything that you want to contribute, it looks like there's someone that wants to give an explanation of the operation. You know, it's customary that you just give them the mic, and if you want to walk through that, the highlights that you think might be significant in addition to what you've already submitted.
I think that's fine.
Great,
In that
thank you.
case, I would.
Thanks, Brian.
Next call on Nick Spallone. Nick, would you state your name and address?
Nick Spallone, 105 Fuller Road, Hinsdale, Illinois.
And Nick, your position in this project?
Car wash consultant and developer.
And Nick, would you give the board an overview of the operating characteristics of the proposed car wash?
It will be an automatic Is it okay if I approach?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay, great.
absolutely. You can,
Board up there and make reference to the board in your explanation.
Okay, so, of course, it's going to be a full-service automatic wash. I think you guys recently approved a Tommy's version wash. The equipment that they use will similar to our equipment. We're eco-friendly. Volume of water is very low. I think we use 1/10 of the water that most automatic washes would use. We've designed the site in such a way where stacking will be sufficient. I think we have over 60 vehicles that will be able to stack on the lot before there's any encroachment into traffic pattern. The wash process from end to end is about a minute, start to finish. There'll be 3 stacking lanes, 3 kiosks to pay. The way the kiosks work is when one person completes payment, a gate will open allowing the people to proceed, or the car wash client, customer to proceed. When that gate closes, then the next person who's completed the transaction would then have the ability to open the gate and move in next in line. The facility at max would have 3 employees at its highest volume. 1 employee would be at the entrance of the wash, kind of guiding people into the belt. 1 employee will be floating the kiosk area, kind of making sure that these clients are completing the transactions fluidly. And then 1 person floating the lot to make sure it's clean. So if people are cleaning out their door jambs, or they're dumping garbage, or the cans are getting full themselves, they'll go in and they'll keep the site clean. That's the synopsis.
Okay. I do have one question. When I first read the packet, it seemed to indicate that there was going to be an access roughly at the side of the building where Tacos Del Norte is. But when I read Mr. Greaves' memo, it sounds like perhaps that might be going away. Can you clarify what the traffic pattern is?
I think what you're referring to is the first plan that we had from them had several access points, and it caused some areas of conflict, and so they worked with Mr. Grieve and closed off those access points. So the plan that you see is what's being presented, and it's been before Bill. He, this is what he recommends.
So there'll still be access from the real close to where Tacos Del Norte is, as well as from the stoplight?
This being Milwaukee, I don't know, should I talk or?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
Yes.
This being Milwaukee Avenue, and this, we'll call it the Great America, I think it's Parkway. This is the frontage road that will access the strip mall, which is the taco location here. So here's the rear frontage road. This is the daycare center.
Right.
So people will come
And
in
right
off
where
of
your
the right-
hand is, there's a traffic signal.
There is.
Okay,
Yes, the traffic
okay.
signal here.
Okay.
People will be able to still access the taco facility, and all of one of the things that the consultant recommended is that we made sure we had sufficient stacking here so that it wouldn't
Okay.
bleed out into this
Okay.
area here.
So where is the main entrance then? Can you show us at it?
The main entrance to the...
Well, if I'm coming in off of Milwaukee Avenue, where am I going to go if I'm going to utilize the car wash?
So you'll come in off of Milwaukee, you'll make a right going south. So this would be the frontage road where you have the daycare right here. Then there's a frontage road that kind of follows the back of the lot that takes you to the strip mall. And the access will be off of the back end. So the opposite side of Milwaukee Avenue.
And then to exit?
Same space.
Okay.
So we used to, what you were just asking is there was a proposed secondary opening here that would access the strip mall at this point. But the consultant recommended we close that access and have a single point of access and entrance.
But there'll still be an access into the strip mall, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
through the
And
frontage.
and it's kind of a awkward, kind of circuitous kind of way to get there. If you pull in the main entrance to the strip mall, you end up having to go all the way to like where Stevens is, and then turn north, and then go to the end. And when you make that turn by Tacos Del Norte, it's kind of an awkward, tight turn. Is there a way we can discourage that?
Discourage a right out.
Discourage from people from even to try to go in and out that way, because to me, I mean, you got people going in and out of the restaurant, and it's a tight turn.
I think most people are going to go in and out of that
By the
main
traffic signal?
access where the signal's at. They're not
Okay.
going to traverse all the speed bumps through the
Yeah.
center.
Everybody's going to try
But-
it once.
but-
Everybody's going to try it once and say this is kind of
Right,
weird.
but you do have
Okay.
that option if you're at one of the other businesses to just connect into this site via that frontage road.
Okay. All right. Dave, you look like you want to say something.
I think visually, the traffic on 21, is going to see this as the more proximate access location, utilizing the signalized intersection. The other access point into the established Riverside Plaza Center is a little more remote and is not as obvious as an access point to this site.
Okay.
So I think the majority of the traffic is going to utilize the signal.
Okay. Hopefully common sense will rule. Okay. Yeah, anything else you care to add?
That's it.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from members of the PZB? Yes.
So can you walk us through, once the car enters in, it just seems like this perplexing maze. Maybe you could walk us through the typical pattern. I'm talking about once they enter in and they were to go into, like, go get a vacuum, or there's some sort of center thing there. I mean, what?
Okay, so when a customer will come in, they have a choice to either come in and use the vacuum. And if they do use the vacuum, they have one way out. So that way there's not two-way traffic this way. They'll have one way out to kind of circle back around to keep the traffic flow pattern this way without having to have people trying to crisscross. So people will come in, they'll use the vacuum, they'll back out, come follow the traffic pattern this way, which then they can jump into line and get the vehicle washed. So this road is really designed so that way there's not a lot of two-way traffic here. So everything keeps in a very smooth pattern.
What is that structure there that's to the left?
This is for
No. The next. That one.
Garbage.
That's garbage. Okay. All right.
And we made the garbage carousel match the finishes of the building.
If I had to guess, I would say that most people are going to go through the wash first and then go to the vacuum area, because people have a tendency to possibly dry their car and vacuum as opposed.
That is the actual pattern.
Right, okay.
So if somebody did leave, they have the choice to come in here, and then when they exit.
They can
This
exit out.
road was really designed so that way there's not two-way traffic going here.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, because this is a public hearing, I need to open the floor to the public. Is there anyone from the general public that would care to ask a question or make a comment? Given that everybody was sworn in before, I'm pretty sure everybody's from the petitioner, so I'll close the floor to the public. Any other questions, comments from members of the PZ? Yes, Trace.
Well, staff just wanted to point out that the ordinance does require, the new ordinance does require fencing 6
Oh, the
feet
landscaping, yes.
to the north and south and to the east side of the site, as well as a linear hedge or shrub. And so, we haven't had much experience with car washes since the adoption of this code. We had one other one. In that case, it didn't make sense because the fence, again, was between commercial and commercial. I think it's something that we're going to take a look at amending the code, but we wanted to point out that it doesn't meet that requirement. We don't believe that it makes any sense to put a fence on 3 sides of this. And the shrubs that they have and the plantings that they have are in excess of the code. There are some height or size issues upon installation that they know about and know when they come in for a permit, they're going to have to increase the height of some of those shrubs to 36 inches at installation. But we just wanted to point that out so we had that on record.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that, but I certainly concur that loosening up the standards for the border separation is appropriate in this situation, because it is a unique situation. I mean, it's not up against residential. I mean, there's a lot of open land to the east that'll never be developed, as I understand it.
It's all wetlands.
It's all wetlands, and I think it's forest preserve too, isn't it?
Yep.
On the other
Yeah,
side.
okay. So, and certainly with the strip mall on one side and the daycare on the other side. Yeah, go ahead.
So Tracy, if we, and I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, but if the motion to recommend was subject to it being developed in accordance with the staff's memo, is that satisfactory for your purposes?
Or the plans.
Well, no, I've got that in there too.
Oh,
but
okay.
Because I've got it developed in accordance with the petitioner's application and submittals and the village staff memorandum, dated March 7th. Is that sufficient for your fence issue?
That's fine.
Okay.
I think staff just wanted to make note of the fact that would be an approved deviation from the code
And that's-
as it's currently drafted.
It's fine with me. That doesn't make any sense.
And
to
I
have a fence
apologize
going
for not
on in
mentioning
place.
it. I thought it was a good idea when I read it, so.
I'd just like to say I really appreciate what staff did here, working with them to make this project work out as well as it did. This is probably the best layout for one of the car washes I've seen yet. All the stackings and everything is hidden behind the building itself.
Right.
Landscaping looks great. I just think the project turned out really well.
And the architecture is really attractive, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. And good presentation, too.
yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just,
Yes, sir.
just to complete the record, we do have, if you had any questions, we've got Guido Neri, the project architect, who is here if there was a question, and he did prepare a landscape plan which was submitted to staff previously, and the staff has commented on that, and that plan was changed a little bit in response to some of their suggestions. I've also got the civil engineer, Mike Elliott, who's here if there was an engineering question. And again, I think it was referenced that they did work with Bill Grieve from Gewalt Hamilton with respect to some of these traffic issues, and he did have some suggestions, and that site plan was changed in response to that. So the site plan you see before you is a revised plan.
Unless anyone has any specific questions, I think the materials that you submitted and, what was augmented by the brief presentation and staff, unless someone has a specific question, I think we're okay. Okay. I appreciate that the resources are available. You never know when someone's going to trip into something, and so.
One neighbor's going to show up with some questions, we just want to be
Right.
able to answer them.
Right, I appreciate that. Any other questions or comments? Yeah. Ed, do you want to make a motion? Or Brian?
I got
Yeah, okay.
one that I already wrote out.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to recommend approval of a special use permit for a car wash to be located at 431 North Route 21, subject to the car wash being developed in accordance with the petitioner's application, plans and submittals, and the village staff memorandum regarding the matter dated March 7, 2018.
Okay. And I had a senior moment. You did say recommendation, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'll second that.
I heard Mr. Paff first, so second by Mr. Paff.
Pick one, anyone.
Okay. Joanne, could we have roll call, please?
Bow,
Aye.
Garrity,
Aye.
Path,
Aye.
and Sula.
Aye, motion carries. As you heard, we are a recommending body to the village board, and Clara can keep you posted in terms of when the village board will be considering this matter. Thanks for coming, and appreciate the investment that we hope you're going to be able to make to the community, and good luck with the project if the village board says yes. Next meeting is scheduled for the 21st. I believe we're having a public hearing, right?
We have a public hearing scheduled.
Opportunity for public comment? Okay, no, close the floor to public comment. A motion to adjourn to be in order?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bao, second by
Second.
Mr. Paff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, everyone. Try to stay warm. It's almost
Yeah, that's